Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special interview today. Today we have former junior number one in the world, 2019 French Open junior champion, and world ITF junior champion, Holger Rune. How are you today, Holger?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, I've had a good day.
Good. I hope everything's going well with everything going on in the world. How have you been
Yeah.
passing the time so far now that everything's on pause?
Well, it has been tough, of course, because first of all, everything is closed here in Denmark and everywhere else, so there's not a lot of facilities to practice in. But I've been done some physical training and I've been borrowing some private course. But it's tough, you know. You have to be careful and watch out, and yeah, hopefully it will get over as soon as possible.
100%. And I think the best thing that you can do is just being with your family, making sure you're staying healthy through everything. And I think that's the
Yeah.
biggest concern as of right now.
Mhm.
When was the last time you hit a tennis ball? Because I think I talked to someone last week that said they haven't picked up a racket in maybe a week, and for a professional tennis player, it feels like a lifetime.
Yeah, I've played yesterday actually.
Oh,
so
very lucky.
so yeah, lucky. But yeah, as I said, everything is closed, so you cannot go to a regular club. We have a couple of private courts here in Denmark where it's outside, so it's pretty cold. It's only around like 5 to 10 degrees.
Oh
So
wow.
so yeah, it's tough condition, but it's the only possibility to play. And you know, I love tennis, so I want to play and keep in shape and do a lot of fitness. So that's a goal for now.
Yeah, and I think you have definitely have the drive and the passion for it. I think that nothing seems to be stopping you. So I think I admire your passion for this game, and
Yeah,
it's
thank you.
it really does help a lot of people, especially me who hasn't picked up a racket in probably a week, 2 weeks since
Yeah,
everything has happened.
yeah.
So I just want to start off just to get to know you a little bit. How did you first get into the sport of tennis?
Yeah, well, actually, my sister, she started playing tennis, and then I came down and tried, and I really feel the passion for it, and I like the sport. I like everything about it. And from then on, I've been practicing almost every day and really enjoyed it and getting better and better. And, you know, I love the sport. I love to hit ground strokes, volleys, everything. So, and also to compete is a very important part for me. So that's basically it.
So so did she kind of inspire you to play the game, or did someone else, once you got into it
No,
more, did someone else kind of take over for that role?
no, she inspired me. She started to play, and then I was playing football also. So I was playing both tennis and football. And then after 6 months, I had to choose because I wanted to be good at something.
Hmm.
And then I chose tennis because you know I had a passion for it. I really loved it, and from there on, I'm happy that I chose tennis.
What when you first had to choose between football, and tennis, excuse me, what made you
Yeah.
what made you choose tennis over football?
Um, that it's not a team sport. I like to be the only guy who can make a difference on the court, not to be standing with so many other guys. And I like that it's only my fault when I lose, and when I win, it's only me. So I like that I'm in control of everything.
So you like taking the sole responsibility of everything on court
Yeah,
versus maybe
yeah,
blaming
exactly.
someone else.
Yeah,
Would
that's
you
true.
would you say that who would be a role model that you looked up to? I know that you're a big Federer fan and that you've hit with him
Yeah,
in the past. Is there someone else that maybe inspired you while you were first learning the game?
yeah. My first idol was actually Rafael Nadal.
Oh wow, so you
I think
switched.
yeah, I switched actually, and well, he was. I mean, I still like him. He's still an
Of course.
unbelievable player, but yeah, I really like his fighting experience and the way he actually played the game. Like he was grinding and really playing a lot of balls in the court. But since he got number two in the world and Roger got number one, I don't know. I suddenly changed, and and from there on, it's always been Roger. His game style, his mentality on the court, how calm he is, and everything he does is so inspiring. So that's my idol. But I also have a couple of other guys that I look up to. For example, I think Felix Auger-Aliassime,
Wow.
he's a very inspiring young guy as well. Um, yeah, his attitude as well is really good, and his tennis is improving a lot.
Would you say that you take some of their shots, or you try to incorporate some of their game style into your own?
Yeah, I try to take the best from every player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to be playing like Roger, you know. I want to be playing like myself. So, but I try to take small things like for example, Roger has a good forehand, so maybe I take something there. But I don't try to copy the whole player. I try to take the small things. Yeah.
How and kind of transitioning into that, when you were in London, you seemed to be a hitting partner for all the top 10 guys. What was it like to go from watching these players on TV to all of a sudden you get to hit with them?
Yeah, well, it was actually a crazy feeling, you know. You used to watch them, and all of a sudden they're standing at the other end of the net. So it's pretty crazy, but I really enjoyed it, and playing with these guys is so special, you know. They hit the ball. Some of them hit the ball very strong, and for example, Novak and Roger, they are very very you know, calm when they play, not hitting too hard actually, just timing it very well, and are very precise with everything they do. So it's a great experience, and also great to see how they do.
Did any Well, one, who was your favorite person to hit with? And two, did anyone surprise you when you first started hitting with them?
My favorite one was Tsitsipas, I think.
Really?
He was really nice to hit with. He was hitting, you know, it's actually because when you're hitting partner, sometimes they play like 4 balls to you, and then they put one away. And Tsitsipas, because I know him as well, and we played some other guys some other times together.
Mm-hmm.
So we had some really good practice set. We played one practice set, and yeah, so that was actually my favorite. And the other one who surprised me
Mm-hmm.
was Zverev. He hits really hard
Really?
when we practice. Yeah, his backhand, also his forehand. Actually, he was going full power.
Wow.
So yeah. So,
was that was
so,
that was that intimidating at all, or what was that?
well, at the beginning, I was a little. Oh, he's hitting pretty hard. I mean, compared to Tsitsipas and the other guys, they
Mm-hmm.
were hitting a bit slower,
Yeah.
and he was missing a bit more, but also giving it full power. So first 5 minutes, I had to get in the right
Yeah.
direction and everything, and after that it was fine. But he was fun to hit with as well.
It must have been a lot of fun. Did any of
Yeah.
them try to give you a piece of advice, or did you ask them about your own game while you had the chance, or you just went and played?
Uh, um, Boyce Becker, he was on the court while I practiced with Zverev, and
Oh wow.
he really liked my game, and yeah, my tennis style, and he thought I could be an unbelievable player. So that was
Oh wow.
nice. And also Goran Ivanišević, who coached
Yeah.
Djokovic, he gave me some tips on the serve, and said a few things that also he liked my game, and he could improve maybe a little bit on the serve, and yeah, the Serge, he said after we hit the first time that he thought I could finish in top 100.
Oh wow.
So that's nice to know, you know.
Yeah,
So
it must
hear,
be a great feeling to
yeah,
have those greats and Grand Slam winners to tell you that you have the
yeah,
potential to really be something special.
yeah, it is. You know, to hear from him, he's a top 10 player, and
Hmm.
has actually been in the game for a long time, even though he's very young.
Hmm.
So it's nice to hear from those guys.
Do you think that adds any pressure to what you want to achieve later on in your career?
No, it doesn't. It actually helps me, I think, because you know, when I stand there and play the futures and the challenges, I feel like, you know, I can think about it a little bit. If he says, okay, you can finish top 100 this year, I feel like, okay, I can beat those guys, even though they're really good, and it's a tough transition. But if you believe and if you're mentally strong, it helps you a lot.
Yeah, and I can't believe that for you at least, it seems just such a surreal moment to have people like that telling you things that you never thought they would.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. It's a dream.
So, moving on to your kind of achievements in your career, you've achieved a lot so far just being 16 years old, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what would you say is your biggest achievement so far, from ITFs to maybe your first Davis Cup match? What would you say is your biggest achievement that you personally have felt has impacted your career so far?
Well, I think actually in under 14, I played the European Championship and I won it. So that was a big step in my career, in my junior career,
Hmm.
to know that I was able to play on with the best guys in my age, and then moving from it was called Tennis Europe to
Hmm.
ITF
Yeah.
was a little bit different because in Tennis Europe I was playing against the same age and one age over, so 1 year older guys.
Okay.
And when I went to ITF, they were 3 years older than me, so it
Oh.
was a big step. And but yeah, then I thought, okay, now it's not only about the 2003 and 2002. Now I have to beat them all.
Hmm.
And so yeah, from then on, my biggest victory was the French Open
Yeah.
and the Masters final in China. So those two were the best tournaments.
Would you say when you go into tournaments like that, do you set a goal before each one, or is the goal to always win the tournament?
Well, I mean, when I played my first junior Grand Slam in Australian Open the year,
Hmm.
and I I played the guy who not in the tournament, but I played the guy who won the tournament half a year before,
Hmm.
and I played 3 sets with him. So even though I lost in the second round, I feel like okay, I have the level, and I know I can. And when I put a goal, I always achieve it. So I was actually thinking like, okay, I can do it for the next Grand Slam. Not I didn't went into the French Open and thought I would win. I think seed 5 or 6 or something. So, but I had some good tournaments before coming in with confidence, and I was really focused mentality and playing point after point, very very good. And yeah, when I won it, it felt pretty unreal.
That's, it must be. I mean, to have that
Yeah.
success and accomplishment at your age, I feel like it's a lot to handle, wouldn't you say?
Um, I don't know. I was just extremely happy after that. I
Yeah.
didn't think about so much else.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really have to, because
you
it's
know.
once you win, I mean, it's you. It's all you.
Yeah.
So
True.
so moving on to kind of the, I know this is not solely just about you. You go into a team aspect in Davis Cup. You represented
Yeah.
Denmark and you represented your country. How would you say what it's like to represent your country at 16 years old, to play for someone, not only for yourself but for people around you?
Well, it's also nice because when you go into Davis Cup, it is of course something different because you play for your country, you play with your teammates, and it's not like a normal tournament. So you have to, it's different because you have, of course, you have to fight in every match.
Hmm.
Also, if it's not Davis Cup, but all of a sudden you give a little bit more, even though if you play really bad, you always want to fight because you have a full crowd, Danish people that are supporting you, and even though you're down 5-1 or anything, they always support you. So it's it's easier and also hard at the same time because they support you, but they also want you to win. So there's both pressure and yeah. So it's different.
Yeah, I, because you said before that you like playing for yourself and you like being
Yeah.
solely responsible for your own mistakes or your own
Mhm.
responsibility on court. Now it's taken to a whole nother level where, yes, it you are playing by yourself, but you're also playing for maybe the four or five other guys that are representing
Yeah.
your country with you.
Yeah, but I think that's even helping me more because
Hmm.
then I fight even more because it's for the whole country
Hmm.
and it gives another feeling, because it's two countries that play each other and you want your country to be the best one.
Hmm.
So you just want to fight and give it everything you have.
Yeah, of course. And I think moving on to my second to last question, I believe you
Yeah.
at 16, you probably are on social media a decent amount. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Or Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you're right. You're right.
at 16, you're verified. You have over 25,000 followers on Instagram. Do you think it's a distraction, or do you think it's pretty cool to kind of have that influence on a global stage? How do you think it's impacting you from a, I guess, a social media standpoint?
Yeah, well, I think it's nice because what I achieved so far, people really admire me. So I think that they always supported me, all my followers, and all the people who text me on Instagram. They all want me the best, and that's really nice. It's I don't use I don't. I mean, I use Instagram, but I'm not on my phone all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
but when I'm on my phone, they always nice and polite and help me both in the good times and also when I have tough periods and they're really nice. So I like my followers and my fans around there. So it's cool. I like it.
It is pretty cool to kind of have that blue check mark next to your name too when you show your friends. They're like, I look at me, I I'm
Yeah.
famous now.
Well, it's nice, but it's not something I think about so much. I mean,
Okay.
it's yeah.
Yeah,
So
you have to stay humble to make
yeah.
sure that you're giving
Yeah.
off the right message, right?
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
And I think the last question is, you're a big James Bond fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Which one is your favorite? Who is your favorite James Bond? And
um,
which is your favorite movie?
my favorite James Bond is Daniel Craig.
Of course, yeah, he's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, he is. And it's the movie Casino Royale.
Yeah, I love that
Yeah,
one, the
that's my
original one.
favorite.
Do you
Yeah.
did you watch any of the old ones, like with Sean Connery or Pierce Brosnan, or you kind of stayed within the newer ones?
No, I watched with the guy called Roger Moore.
Oh,
Roger
you like
Moore.
Roger Moore too?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
nice. So I watched Daniel Craig and Roger Moore.
Oh, nice.
I think they're nice movies. A lot of action and
Yeah.
it's really nice movies. So I'm a big fan.
Yeah, you've also been called the Bond of tennis, so I feel like it's kind of sticking with you too.
Yeah, well, it's not a bad name to have, I guess.
It definitely is not. Well, Holger, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to me and to
Yeah,
talk
sure.
to my followers about who you are, because you definitely have a bright future ahead of you, and I do really appreciate you taking time out of your day to just talk to us about who you are.
That's perfect. I really enjoyed it too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you again. And do you want to
Yeah.
shout anything out? Do you want to plug anything before we leave, or just your Instagram will
Um.
do?
Yeah, my Instagram will do. Just have fun, everyone, and enjoy tennis.
I love it. Thank you so much
Yeah,
again. I really appreciate
perfect.
it.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you. Bye.
Bye.